Hello ladies, gentlemen, and otherwise, my name is D3vious, and this is a long overdue 1000 certs or less video. Today we're going to be talking about the Light Assault, my absolute favorite class in the game. And I am sorry that I haven't been pumping these out as much as usual. School and other things and holy crap, life have just happened over and over and over again. I can't make it stop. Mommy help me. But anyway guys, I'm bringing it back. And I am going to get back to it until I have one out for at least every class. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Now I got three builds here. First one I have dubbed the Shotgun Angel. The second one is Breacher / Shotgun Surprise. And the last one I have dubbed, for whatever reason, the Hell Jumper. Be mindful, these are all strictly, purely Light Assault builds. They don't really work with anything else. The certs, to the best of my knowledge at the time of this recording, are completely and totally accurate, so if they change from thus forward, I am deeply, deeply sorry. I will not get you all the way up to exactly 1000 certs, as this is getting a little bit difficult, and I'm kind of screwing up the builds in the attempt to do so. So, I'm going to get you as close to 1000 certs as I can, and then give you my thoughts on where you should go after that. So first up, Shotgun Angel. First, you're going to purchase the Mauler for 500 certs. Yes, the Mauler, specifically the Mauler. This does work with pretty much all of the shotguns, but the Mauler, in my opinion, gives you the best bang for your buck. And because of the ridiculously fast, or for a shotgun anyway, ridiculously fast reload speed, you're going to be doing a lot of damage in a more sustained fashion. It also has the tightest spread of any shotgun that is not a pump action or the jackhammer. That is going to cost you 500 certs. Next up, you're going to throw extended mags onto it so you have a little bit more extra killing potential per magazine. This is going to cost you 100 certs, bringing your total currently up to 600. Next on the list, you're going to buy Adrenaline Pump. Yes, Adrenaline Pump. This is going to give you that extra half second of reaction time when you pop a corner at the same time as an enemy infiltrator with a submachine gun, or another light assault with a shotgun, or pretty much anyone else. You're going to get the first shot off more reliably with Adrenaline Pump. I am going to link a video to, I'm going to put a link in the description and or annotations, if I can get them freaking working, that will lead you straight to Warpath Rel's video on the subject. Anyway, I'm going to link you to a video that is relevant on Rel's channel. By the way, Rel, if you're watching, I am doing my research. So let's continue. So, the Adrenaline Pumps, that's going to cost you 30 certs. It's going to bring your total up to 630. Next on the list, you're going to get Jump Jets, the stock ones, up to level 4. This is going to cost you a grand total of 160 certs, bringing your total up to 750. Now, it's a firm belief that you need a high level of Jump Jet to be effective as a light assault. You can play around with the lower levels very, very effectively, but you are significantly more effective if you have more gas in the tank and a quicker refilling tank. So Jump Jets up to level 4, get it done. It's only 160 certs, it's worth your time. That's going to bring your total up to 790, and now we get into one of the most important parts, C4. C4 is going to cost you 200 certs, bringing your total up to the last bit that I'm going to put on this build, which is 990. Leaves you only 10 certs spare, which you are going to save up for the next bit, if you so follow this build. You're only going to get one because that's all we can afford as of the 1000 cert or less build, and that's pretty much it. This will allow you to move very quickly, to get around in an easy fashion without having to worry about the drifters going all batshit insane on you. Okay, so the general premise behind this build is you're going to be able to get around much faster than someone with even max level drifters, so long as you know what you're doing. If you know the limits of your jump jets, you will be significantly more effective than pretty much anyone else in getting around the tower, unless there is another light assault walking around. The Mauler is going to give you point blank destruction like you wouldn't believe. By the way, yes, there is an Empire equivalent, pretty much, actually yes, definitely with every Empire. I'm not sure exactly what the TR equivalent is, but I know there is a 500 cert quick reloading shotgun, and I know for the VS, the Thanatos, I believe, is your Mauler equivalent. I believe that's the one I have in my VS anyway. And yes, by the way, this build is cross-faction compatible. This has no real restrictions due to weapons or anything, because it's using one of these shotguns that is pretty much carbon copied and put onto a different color scheme. Now, as sad as this is to say, most of the shotguns do have their counterparts that are pretty much identical in the other empires. Like said, the Mauler and Thanatos are damn near identical. The only difference is the Thanatos has no bullet drop, it being a VS weapon. So that pretty much wraps it up for the Shotgun Angel build. Lastly are my final thoughts on the subject. You're going to want to finish off your jump jets and finish off your C4. If you want to cert more into the Mauler, you're more than welcome to, but in my opinion, iron sights are perfectly fine. If you want to put smoke grenades and an iron V-scope on the thing, that will make you pretty damn effective. So there's a lot of options with this particular build. I am running up on 7 minutes, I need to hurry up. Next up is the Breacher, or Shotgun Surprise build. Same thing as before, we're going to be getting a Mauler and extended mags, starting you off at 500 and 100 respectively, bringing your total right up to 600. Next up, you're going to get Drifters times 3. That's right, 3. You need lots of levels of Drifters. I was tempted to dump every last cert into this, but I do need to kind of vary my work here. So, Drifters times 3, that's going to bring your total right up to 900. Next on the list, you're going to want Nano Weave 3, and I'm going to get to the explanation as to why you're doing this, I promise. And after that, Med and or Resto Kit, depending on your personal preference, though in my personal opinion, the Resto Kit would be a better choice to complement the Nano Weave. Now, let's get into the point of this build. Because the Drifters allow you to kind of ski around, this is massive because of two things. It allows you to move at sprinting speed without lowering your weapon. This means your shotgun is pretty well up. Using the Mauler, which has the tightest spread of any shotgun that's not a pump action, gotta remember to keep putting that in there. And remember, no slugs on this build. If you get the Mauler and you get the extended mags, you can breach into a room at sprinting speed with your weapon up and skate in, dump your mag if you got a fast enough trigger pull, and then get out and pretty much rinse and repeat until everyone inside is dead. I have breached a room with about 10 similar builds before, all of us skiing around. This was right after the Drifters got the ability to ski. And holy crap, we cleared that sun out. There were maxes and heavies everywhere, and there was nothing left by the time we were done. This is a very effective build if you have multiples of, but as stands, it is just fun to play with. Now, I do call it Breacher and Shotgun Surprise, however, it is more of a Tribes Pathfinder with shotgun kind of feel. But hey, whatevs. I cannot prioritize jump jets enough on this one. The more Drifters you cert into, it pretty much doubles the time after a certain point, to where you go from like 12 seconds to 24, I think, is the final jump. The point is, you get almost half a minute of sustained burst, which isn't even really a burst. You get a half a minute of sustained skiing or drifting or floating or whatever the hell you're doing with it. This is massive and it is insane. After that, I'd say finish off your nano and kit stocks, whether you choose Med or Resto. And of course, Nano Weave complements, in my opinion, Resto complements Nano Weave better. But hey, that's up to y'all. Also on the list, I would say finish off your Mauler, and flashbangs and or smoke grenades are also very effective. I haven't gotten the trick down of using IRNV sights with a smoke grenade and Mauler at the time. Normally I just breach in and pray to the Omnisaya that they're not looking at the door, which works about 50% of the time. But again, this build is subject to change as the player using it sees fit. I'm going to dive into the last build, which is pretty stock, pretty easy to play, but this one is going to come with a disclaimer. This gets nowhere near to the finish point of 1,000 certs or less. It stops at 851 for a very, very specific purpose. So this is going to take a little bit extra work, and it's kind of a footnote at the ass end of this video. So big disclaimer there. First off, jump jets up to level 5. This is going to cost you 310 certs. And it's going to start you off pretty well. This is going to give you a lot of maneuverability in comparison to a stock light assault. Next up on the list, you are going to be using your stock Mercenary. The Razor also works if you so happen to have it or feel like working out the extra certs for it. However, you're going to put a suppressor and a foregrip on it. Scope is optional depending on how you play, though I would not recommend anything larger than a 2x. That's going to bring your total up to 510 at a stunning price of 200 certs. So going from 510, we're going to dive right into the Advanced Shield Capacitor. Yes, I did not stutter. At maximum rank. This is going to cost you 341 certs, bringing your total up to 851, which is our stopping point for the 1000 certs or less portion. Now there is a reason that I made this build and put it into this video. The reason is very simple. This is kind of a complex build to use, but trust me, it works. My friends run it, and they, frankly, kick ass with it. They, however, know how to hit and run and not play around with no shields. The Advanced Shield Capacitor at maximum is going to bring your 10-second shield cooldown time to 6 seconds, which is going to get you back in the fight a lot faster. It's also going to, with the jump jets, give you a little bit more maneuverability than otherwise you would have, obviously, and the suppressor for your Mercenary and or Razor, depending on what you want, is going to give you a little bit of anonymity in big battles. You're not going to be able to be heard as much, and generally speaking, you don't want to be heard with this build. This is one of those kind of ninja builds that gets in behind and just wreaks havoc once there. Also, the foregrip, obviously, for kind of those pot shots that you'll see on occasion as a light assault, being up on the roofs and whatnot. You'll be able to take those pretty effectively with the foregrip on. Now for the afterthoughts, which are excessively important. You want to save up for C4, 2 sticks as soon as you can get them. After that, I'd say finish up your rifle and jets, then grab a grenade of the special order if you want. Not too kind with the grenades. I'm not too friendly with them. They don't like me, I don't like them. It's a mutual relationship. But if you can work smoke grenades fairly well and you want to put an iron V-scope on your Mercenary or Razor, depending on what you use, you're more than welcome to. I'm not telling you you can't. This build is more of a starting point for a slightly more conservative play style. If you get shot with this build, your immediate objective is to get behind cover so you stop getting shot, refill, then turn and engage the threat. So, disclaimer with this one, it's a little bit more tedious to play. So anyway guys, that's all I have for today. I'm going to try and keep this video slightly shorter than the rest. Yeah, that's funny. But the next build that will be coming out is probably going to be for the Infiltrator. I'm not going to do the Medic for a little while because I haven't really played it all that much, and the Heavy Assault I'm still working the kinks out of. So guys, thanks for stopping by, thanks for viewing. I hope you take something away from this and pawn your enemies like squeaking noobs with this informations. However, as always, hopefully see you guys out in that beautiful bloody Iraxian battlefield. However, I will definitely see you guys next round.
Go as a medic for a bit.
I kind of feel bad about that one.